is the Paolo Emilio, the Tier 7 Premium Destroyer. It's an Italian destroyer that you buy in the store for 750,000 global XP. When I checked the ship out in the store before I bought it, and you may have seen that video, I decided that I did like it enough to where I went ahead and cashed in all my global XP and actually converted some doubloons to be able to get the ship. So let's take a look at how I've got the ship set up and the commander. The commander is Giuseppe Fulgosi. The base trait is In the Fog. It increases the smoke screen deployment time. As far as the inspirations, I have Eric Bay. Shifty increases the concealment of your destroyer. Second inspiration is Jerzy Swirsky. Hide and Seek increases the ship concealment rating. So between these two guys, this is a double concealment setup here on this commander. So you're really going to get concealment down close to 5 kilometers by the time it's all said and done. The first skill is Contact is Imminent. Increases the travel speed of your torpedoes. Second skill is Look at Me Now. Increases the ship concealment rating. Third skill, I normally select Back in Stock to reduce the torpedo launcher reload time, but for now I'm experimenting with Perceptive. It increases the visibility of the enemy torpedoes and reduces the incoming damage to your destroyer, and it will show the direction to the closest enemy ship. The fourth skill is Smoke on the Water. Increases the smoke screen deployment time as well as its dispersion time. As for the legendary skill, I have them ranked up to 14.1. The .1 is the legendary rank, and that is for Unstoppable. Reduces the engine repair time. Gains reduced mobility with a disabled engine and or rudder. So when you're conked out, you are moving around a little bit. If you don't have this legendary skill selected, you are completely dead in the water as far as I know. Okay, so let's take a look at the upgrades. The first upgrade is Aiming Systems Mod 1. Second upgrade is Steering Gears Mod 2. Decreases the rudder shift time by 20%. Third upgrade is Concealment System Mod 1. Reduces the detectability range by 10%. It also increases the fire dispersion a little bit. The fourth upgrade is a Torpedo Launcher Mod 3. Reduces the torpedo launcher reload time by 15%. It says that the risk of the torpedo launcher becoming incapacitated is increased by 50%, but I haven't seen this as a problem as of yet. Let's take a look at the loadout. You have your normal ammunition of the high explosive shells, armor piercing shells, and torpedoes. As for consumables, we have the normal damage control party. Consumable duration is 5 seconds, reload time is 40 seconds, and the number of consumables is unlimited. Here you have a choice between the rolling smoke, the exhaust smoke generator, or the normal smoke generator. Generally, I think everybody wants to select this. This will allow the destroyer to stay hidden while the smoke screen is being deployed, but I think you have to stay within 3/4 speed or something like that. We've got to experiment with it. And you have the engine boost consumable. You've got 2 of them here, and you can see for the time being I'm running a lot of these rare boosters and the epic one over there. But let's take a look at the camo. Ship comes with a Type 9 Premium Permanent Camouflage. Sea detectability and incoming fire dispersion is 4.5%. Let's take a look at the stats. The hit points, survivability hit points is 24,400. That is, I believe, the highest, certainly the highest destroyer hit points that I have. It could be the highest in the game. The armor is 6 to 60 millimeters. Seems a little bit more armored than normal. Artillery firing range is pretty good at 11.4 kilometers. Reload time is a little bit slow. HE shell damage is 19,500, which is sort of normal. Fire sighting chance of 9% is kind of low. AP shell damage is kind of high at 3,000, so you might want to consider using AP shells. Probably get some Citadel hits on cruisers. Okay, the torpedoes, reload time is 102 seconds. Without the configuration of the commander or the upgrade option in upgrade number 4, that was 120 seconds. So you've reduced the torpedo reload time by 18 seconds. Maximum damage is 23,767, which is up there with the Shimakaze. I think the Garing is like 16,000 maximum damage, but I believe this is the second highest torpedo damage that I'm aware of in the game. Torpedo range is 6 kilometers. Is kind of the problem. I was kind of complaining about this in that overview video I did, and we'll just have to see how it works out in gameplay. Torpedo speed at 71 knots is pretty darn quick. That's really good to see. Maybe that'll help make up the difference there. Here are your AA defensive numbers. Maneuverability, 43.5 knots is extremely quick. I'm not sure I have any ships that are faster than this in the game. Let me know if you think any ships exist that are faster than this. You'll get even more speed if you select the one of the battle boosters. Turning circle radius 810 meters. Rudder shift time is 4.2 seconds, which is pretty good. Concealment at 98 is 5.4 kilometers, which is great, especially when the ship starts out at a 7 kilometer detectability. And this is what happens when you do double concealment on your commanders and take the concealment upgrade in slot number 3 there. Detectability by air is 3.1 kilometers, which is pretty good. Let's take a look at the armor. You can see a lot of green, which you kind of expect, but you also see a lot of yellow and orange, which you don't expect. And the turrets are protected more, and there's a little part here down by what you would think would be the citadel. Let's remove the armor here and see what that is. It looks like athwart ships. So I'm not really sure what that is. I guess it's a little bit of a citadel. Leave a comment if you know. I'm interested. I don't really know. But you can see that whatever it is green and blue, which is very lightly armored, even though it looks like the sides are armored kind of thickly with the orange armor, so that is good. So I think the bottom line, though, is you really don't want to get hit if you can at all avoid it. Okay, so the overview. Big yield, above average torpedo damage, and we certainly saw that with the 23,000 plus torpedo damage. Guns aplenty, high number of guns allow for a lot of damage from a single salvo, and this could certainly be what happens when you select AP shells. Fast, above average maximum movement speed, and you certainly saw that with the 43.5 knots. Paolo Emilio is the project of a relatively large and very high-speed armored reconnaissance ship with a powerful main battery. It was developed by the Ansaldo company under Project UP-39. Paolo Emilio was the predecessor of the Captini Romani class light cruisers. Year of design was 1936. It doesn't look like there were any ships in the series, so we're glad to have it in the game here. Well, that's it for the setup of the ship and the commander. Let's go and take a look at some highlights. Alright, we're in Standard, we're in Tears of the Desert, and I was so excited to get the ship out in a battle that I literally quickly set up the commander and the ship and took it right out in a standard battle. Wasn't really paying too much attention to the settings, and I forgot to turn on the rolling smoke. As you can see down here, I've got the normal smoke consumable. You'll see that later on in the match, I sort of realized that I have 3 torpedo tubes and 3 torpedo launchers. I didn't really realize that until later on in the match, so that just goes to show that if you don't pay attention, you're going to miss out on certain things. Also during this battle, Swirsky was ranked up to 12, not rank 15 that you saw in the initial previous part of the video with the setup of the commander. And you can see that the detection range is 5.5 kilometers. So ranking him up several more ranks only gives you another 1/10 of a kilometer. Ultimately, I think you want to continue to rank him up to get the most concealment that you can. You can use him as an inspiration on any other commander in the game, so that's another reason why it's worth it. So here you can see that I've got the indicator here for the perceptive skill, the third skill on the commander, and it's showing me where the enemy is. And by selecting this rather than back in stock, you give up several seconds of torpedo reload time. And for this match, I've gone with the perceptive skill, and that's what we're going to show here. So it looks like my best option right out the gate is to go over and capture A. There's only 2 destroyers per side, and I'm kind of hoping that the odds are with me that I can get over there, capture that base, and capture that flag, and not have any destroyers to deal with. So we are just going to push on over to A with 2 destroyers on each side. I'm figuring that odds are I'm going to be there by myself. I'm not going to have any other destroyers to deal with, because that's always a pain in the rear. I have a lot of time, it seems like, going one-on-one with destroyers. You're going to see, though, I'm going to get into close quarters combat with a destroyer later on, and I do okay. I survive it, so there's nothing wrong with that. The 24,400 hit points of the ship definitely comes into play in this game, where I'm just at a couple hundred hit points by the time the match is over with. So aircraft carriers are in the game, and I'm spotted by that airplane, so that kind of cancels out any kind of awesome concealment you might have with your dual concealment of your commanders. But seems like he's not really paying attention to me because I'm not being spotted anymore. And now I am starting to capture this, capture A. So I'm going to come over here and kind of use this island as cover between myself and the red team. And eventually I'm going to slow down and come to a full stop and just sit here and wait. Alright, so you can see there's a couple battleships out there. And now I have come to a complete stop. And I'm just going to sit here and wait, and there's an Atlanta B. He's going to quickly come within my detection range, and I fire a rack of torpedoes at him. I'm going to leave the second rack and give it a little bit of time there, and there I fire a little bit ahead of him. Now you can see he's quickly closed within my detection range, and I hit the smoke,
engine boost deactivated,
and he's going to respond with the radar there. So that is not ideal, but it is what it is. You see the speed of these torpedoes is really catching up with the Atlanta, and the one little torpedo there hits them for 12,000 damage. I think if the torpedoes were slower, that would not have happened. And so now I'm going to just start hitting the Atlanta with some HE, and you can see I take him out with the HE and he's destroyed. So looks like some powerful HE, kind of like you saw in the overview. The guns do seem powerful. And yes, I did get some Citadel hits on a cruiser in a subsequent battle here. So you definitely can use your AP to get Citadel hits on cruisers.
problem solved, sir.
So I'm just going to hang out here for a while and kind of get a feel for what's going on. And there is that destroyer that I was afraid I would run into, and for some reason you can see that he's not really firing at me or torpedoes at me at this point. And in a second you're going to see the awesomeness of the speed of this ship. You can see there's a rack of torpedoes going, and there's the second rack, and it's at point-blank range at 1.7 kilometers. And with the steering gears, even though it's only 4.3, it's not really that great. I guess some people down below 2 seconds rudder shift time, but You can see I was able to easily evade those torpedoes, which is awesome. And that destroyer was taken out by one of my teammates. So now my best option is to come over here and try to zero in on these battleships. There's actually an aircraft carrier out there that we're going to get involved with in a little bit. But for now, we are just going to close in on this group of ships over here. Well, after that first engagement, I have 13,738 hit points left, which is that's pretty good. That's up there with the starting hit points on a lot of other destroyers, so I'm definitely happy to have the 24,400 hit points to start out with here. And we're just going to close in until we get this aircraft carrier. You see I'm kind of looking for him there. There he is. Switch to the Parseval, target the Parseval, and there he's in range, 3 kilometers away. These are pretty darn fast torpedoes, so he may not have much of a chance to evade them.
Engine boost activated.
Our victory is in sight.
And there you get 1 hit for 22,000 damage. That is awesome. I'm going to take another shot at him. At that point, I still, believe it or not, I wasn't really understanding that I had 3 torpedo launchers. But you can see I'm down to 8,000 points now. North Carolina is starting to hit me from 7 kilometers away. And he's hitting me again down to 1,000, so this is definitely starting to not be good. So I am going to release the second smoke charge, and now you can see that last hit, I'm down to 288 hit points. That is not very much. And I'm going to back up here and just start peppering this guy with high explosive rounds. I don't think armor piercing would really do much to a battleship, so we're going with HE here. 61,000 damage, which is pretty darn good. And right here you see the torpedo launchers are counting down. I've got one launch tube reloaded, but it's not on this side of the ship. So this is where I realize that I've got a loaded torpedo launcher on the other side of the ship, and then I have 3 torpedo launchers. So as unbelievable as it sounds, even though I've been shooting from both sides the entire time, I finally figure out what's going on here right at this point of the game. So I'm going to take a shot at the North Carolina there, and this is what's going to get them. I'm definitely keeping the smoke between myself and the North Carolina. Those actually look really good still. So there you go, 2 torpedo hits, 94,000 damage, and the match is over with. Wow, that is fantastic. A victory, 433,000 credits, 94,000 total damage, 5 torpedo hits, 3 destroyed ships. That is awesome. You can see the huge XP numbers here for the first match in victory. While that was going on over last weekend, you were getting a 5 times boost on a victory on your first match in Standard. A devastating strike medal. That is awesome for the first go-around with the ship. Let's look at the team result. Well, what do you know? First place overall, 2,799 XP. The 3 destroyed ships. Turns out those were the most destroyed ships out of any player in the game. That was great. And here's the economy tab. You can see after it was all said and done, we made almost 300,000 credits on that, which is great for a Tier 7 ship. And well, there you go. That's it for the Paolo Emilio. You can see it is a pretty darn good ship, even though I forgot to set the smoke consumable properly. I finally realized I had 3 torpedo launchers toward the end, but overall, it seems like a pretty good ship that is going to give me a lot of good gameplay. This is the Jaguar, and I'll see you on the high seas. Thanks for watching, and subscribe if you like it.